We have spoken a lot about expansion here. I think, Dave, before you joined, we had spoken a lot about expansion. So before I bring up this note that I saw from a reporter about expansion, I just get your take on it, Dave. Do you think baseball should expand, and where do you think the best two cities to expand are?
Oh my God, thank you. This is a great topic because, oh my God, I can't remember his name right now, but I've been talking for years with the person in charge of the team in Charlotte. You know that AAA Charlotte can be the best city to bring a major league there. Amazing guy. He's been putting everything together for the major league to give Charlotte an opportunity to bring a major league team over there. They have the AAA for
Yeah.
the White Sox, and they have the single A for the Chicago White Sox too. There in Charlotte,
Oh,
right
really?
there,
Wow.
both teams, and they go
Very
sold out every night, every single night.
nice. That's a good idea. And there really isn't a team. I think, Chris, you brought this up once. There really isn't a team in that little section of the
No,
U.S.
nothing in the Carolinas, nothing in Tennessee.
Hmm.
There's a whole wide area that isn't, and so yeah, I would think, you know, somewhere in that Raleigh, Charlotte, Nashville area. I think that's a good spot for a team. I also you hear the name Portland a lot, and you hear a retread of Montreal too. So
Mhm.
have a second Canadian team up there. There'll be plenty of
Yeah.
suitors. We've really got to get the idea. It's not happening ever in Orlando. It never was. It's just
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. And in fact, I think I want to say they've lost some leadership in that regard. I don't know exactly, but I think yeah. I mean, I wish it did. I really do. But as long as Tampa and Miami are there, yeah, it's going to be tough.
Right. So Orlando, I have spoken to some of the folks over there in an effort to get them on, and they they did lose Morgan and Morgan, which is a nationwide
Yeah.
law firm. Yeah, John Morgan, I believe, is the CEO, and he was
Mhm.
in on the Orlando Investment Club, left to join Tampa's, saying the fix was in, as if Orlando wouldn't get one. And Orlando, no other city. But I'm an hour from Orlando. I would love for there to be a team there, like Chris was saying. It would just be so awesome because that brings me back to when I lived on Long Island and I was an hour from Shea and City Field. And every time the Cardinals come, I just go back and forth every day and watch the Cardinals. I would love to do that again with the Cards in Orlando. It'd be great. But three teams is just way too many for Florida. I always thought Orlando was the place to go to because of the theme parks and a family. Baseball fans like to travel. I know all sports do, but baseball fans like to travel, right? It's so much fun to see a new city, etc., and go see your club. And so if you come to Orlando and you can go to the theme parks in the day, the ball game at night. There could be cross promotions between the two. It would have been great. Miami, they'd be better instead of expanding, moving Miami to Orlando. And they're called the Dreamers, if anybody doesn't know. And they just came out with a new logo, and they have Barry Larkin behind them. They have a catcher, Pierzynski, behind them as a part of their public facing uh, advocates. So there are some people. They got some big names. They have a good group for sure. But I don't think it's a really good idea. And for folks who don't know, Tampa to Orlando is only about an hour and a half. So that's a very close. And Tampa owners, I read, believe Orlando is a part of their market. So that's a really tough
Yeah,
sell.
yeah. It'd be. I mean, the only thing comparable is
Hey,
when,
Chris,
and that's when.
I,
Go ahead.
I always have an idea. What about Puerto Rico or Mexico?
Oh, okay. Hold on, Dave. Wait before you answer that. I was just gonna say. So that's why I brought this up. There's a reporter named Sarah Sanchez, and she's a huge Cub fan. I don't know who she works for in her journalistic role, and she actually put out forget. She tweeted this the other day. If MLB really wants to grow the game, they should forget about expanding to Salt Lake City, Nashville, or Portland, and expand to Santo Domingo, San Juan, and Monterey instead. So there you go. Great setup, David. So how about it?
There you go.
Any of those cities or the one that David mentioned? Where should they go in that regard?
The first thing I think they would be an amazing experience to watch baseball there. The first thing that comes to my mind, and again, I hate to be the wet blanket because I don't want to be, but I'm thinking about TV revenue. Like how do you get, all these clubs are subsidized by their, their local, TV contracts and all that. Um, so how does that work with a team in Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic? I think if I had to say, maybe Mexico is like, especially if you put a team like Monterey, where it's a lot closer to the border than say, Mexico City, for example. Okay, maybe Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's not that far away. We had the year where the Expos were messing around down there, right?
Right.
So that may have been like a little bit of a trial balloon, but you'd have to get two things. You would have to get a brand new state of the art stadium, and that's on a, will people down there, wherever it may be, will they vote for that? And then the second thing is, what's the TV contract look like? And
Yeah.
those are the two things that matter. And this goes for any country. This goes for Montreal or Mexico or what have you. Because if you get a team and you can't afford to pay any players, and it's not really going to work.
Yeah. So what do you think, David? What do you think, David?
I don't know if he's with us anymore.
I don't know if you can hear us. Yeah. I would love to see a team in San Juan. I am a huge fan. We vacationed in Puerto Rico twice in the last 5 years, I'm going to say. It is great. San Juan's an awesome place from a tourist standpoint. West side of the island is great as well. And of course, could you imagine Molina being the manager? That place would be going bonkers. Beltran is the hitting instructor.
It would be phenomenal. I mean, when you've watched the crowds at the World, we're going to see it again tonight. And I'm not advocating for a team in Caracas. I think that might be a bit too far at this point. But when you see these crowds, you're like, gosh, why don't we bring baseball to these places?
Yeah.
Because they would love it. Again, it does come down to revenue, and that's where I don't know. Can you get ESPN down there or NBC to televise a game quickly? But they'd sell out every game. They absolutely would.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, can you get the stadium built and can you get the game broadcast, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So I think that as far as the contract, as far as TV revenue goes, given what's going down with FanDuel and the parent company, and let's see if David's back.
Good. It was free. Sorry. Got a difficulty right here.
Okay, so we were about to talk TV revenue, but I'd like to get your thoughts, David, on expansion on the city you mentioned, or the three mentioned by the reporter Sarah Sanchez. So again, she mentions Santo Domingo, San Juan, and Monterey. And which one did you mention?
Puerto Rico, Charlotte, Dominican Republic. I don't think Dominican Republic right now it's ready for the Major League team right now. Maybe in a couple of more years, 3 to 4 years or 5 years. But I think Mexico and Puerto Rico, and like Chris said, Montreal, they are ready to really expand outside the United States. Plus the two city, the Charlotte and another city, Tennessee or something like that, can be a great fit for the Major League right there for expansion.
Yeah. I love. I was saying. I don't know if you heard. We vacation in San Juan, and I love San Juan. San Juan and Condado. I don't know. Has anybody ever been there? Either of you guys been there?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. So were you were in San Juan?
I try to go every year.
You go every year?
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've been twice to Puerto Rico in the last 5 years, I guess. Last year we were on the west side, Aguadilla and Aguada, I think is the two cities we were in. So much fun. Great. It's a great island. It is an awesome place. And I think San Juan I was just fantasizing like Molina coaching, Molina being the manager, and Beltran being a hitting coach. Holy smokes, that would just be
Amazing.
so much fun. So let me throw this out to you, David, first, and then Chris as well. Would they need to kind of geographically, if they put one, let's just say in Puerto Rico, would they have to not do Montreal or Charlotte and look for something on the western part of the U.S.? Or maybe even Mexico, because that's if you drew a line up into the U.S., that would be like Midwest. So do you want? Is it okay to be too? Would they be too heavy on the East? So would they have to balance geographically to get another team out west if they did San Juan or Montreal? David.
Well, in the last couple of years, what the Major League's been trying to design, if you see the new design, they got Texas, Houston, and then they got St. Louis, Chicago, and they designed this way. If they can get a division, they can go Montreal, Boston, New York, Florida, and Puerto Rico. It can be beautiful.
That would be
We
great.
can name the Big East, the Big Southeast, or whatever you want. But
Yeah.
to have those three, one East, one West, one in the middle, and then the one is gonna be Houston, Texas, and Mexico. Oh my God, it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Would you throw Arizona into that one? So it'd be like Arizona, Mexico, Houston,
Yes, of
Texas.
course. They
Killer,
said they
man.
want to have a 6 team per division, so that would be great.
Yeah. So what do you think, Chris? Would they need to put a team out on the West Coast to balance a team on the East Coast, or does that not really factor into this?
Okay, well, so the first thing is there's 30 MLB teams right now. I think you really can't do any league that goes baseball, basketball, football. I think 32 is the limit. So wherever you're going to put these two teams, you better put a lot of thought into it because this is it. I think anyway. Now, as far as that's concerned, I don't think you have to. And just yesterday, I mean, this has been a long time rumored, and I know that you're primarily a baseball guy, but just yesterday, the NBA announced it was going to vote on a proposal, and it's going to happen to explore expanding to two cities, and they're both on the West Coast, Las Vegas and Seattle. So I think it's not necessarily you can shoehorn the geography however you want. As a result, if they do approve those teams, one of the teams in the Western Conference is going to have to move to the East. So it's no different here, right? I mean, we've seen the Brewers, the Astros move, leagues before. So you kind of just pick the best markets, and then so if it's two in the East, great. If it's two in the West, also great.
Okay. All right. Cool. And as far as the contract goes, a TV contract, the way things are going right now, with FanDuel going under, and all the teams, about 8 to 10 teams are now actually under the auspices of MLB. The Braves went out on their own to do their own broadcasting. I kind of feel like that as a part of the new CBA, they have to come up with a new means of broadcasting the games that gets rid of the restrictions, because obviously here in Florida, Chris and I can't watch Miami live on MLB.TV or Tampa live on MLB.TV. That has to end. And then a better way to redistribute that money. So like a San Juan, if they want to join, or a smaller city wants to join, they're not going to be at a disadvantage, as much of a disadvantage, because the money's being equally shared. Am I fantasizing, or is that something we might see?
I certainly wish we could watch the Rays and the Marlins on MLB TV or the home market. For as bad as our blackouts here, they're far worse in other parts of the country too. Like I think Iowa, for instance, is like terrible. Like I think there's like you can't watch the Cubs or something like that in Iowa. Or it's like it's really bad. And I may be getting that wrong, but it's something to that effect. I also think we almost made it through a whole episode without talking about my favorite topic. Got to see what the collective bargaining agreement is before you even talk about expansion. So I think that's something that's going to come way down the line. I don't feel that expansion is as imminent in baseball as it is obviously in basketball.
Okay. And how about the TV contract, David? Do you think it's time to kind of go to more of a format where everybody shares from one big pot, to make it a little bit for the sake of the smaller teams, and especially an expansion team that may be in a smaller city, to make it a little bit more equitable, competitive balance? Should they just redo the TV contracts and share them almost equally?
Yes. I said to you, Chris and Charles, that I'm an F1 fanatic. I love F1. So what the F1 do is what the Major League should do with the share revenue of the TV or the whole league. Every team that go farther in the season, it will get a better percentage of money of the team that doesn't make the postseason. And that way, everybody is going to try to have a good team so they can go to the postseason. Because right now, the team who's not going to make the playoff, they don't even care if they make the playoff, yes or no, but because they're gonna get their money anyway. No, it's much. If you can do it like the F1, if you notice how the F1 is, then you get money that is depend how many points you get every week in the race. This is how the share money coming and in each team. That's why each team is doing everything possible to score point every week. That should be the major league. It should be that motto. Hey, you want more money? You get a good team, you invest real money, and you put the effort. And that way the share of the money is gonna be distributed even better for everybody. I don't know. You tell me, what do you think about that? If the major league can adopt how F1 share revenue with other teams? You tell me.
Well, I think there has to be some. I would like to see some. We should do a whole segment next week on competitive balance, and it sounds like a plausible way to get it done. I think something has to be done, and a little bit more sharing, kind of like the NFL back when I used to watch the NFL was almost run like a socialist country where everybody just shared from an equal pot. And it might be time to do something similar to that in baseball. So let's pick that up for next week and really dig into that aspect of what's happening in baseball.